Hey guys, welcome back to another video here. Today we are doing a My Hero Academia or back again No Hero Academia. What if? And this is what if Deku had a transformation type quirk or a dragon quirk part 1, as it says on the thumbnail, on the title, and the picture as you can see right in front of you. And yes, I hope you guys do enjoy the 2 videos. Possibly 2. This one first, may do another one. Not 100% sure yet. And if I do 2, then I'm not sure which order they'll be posting, but I know one will be posting Saturday and the other will be posting Sunday. So yes, Saturday and Sunday. So that means you'll get one Friday, Saturday, Sunday and Monday. So yes, you get, I guess, 4 what ifs back to back. 2 Naruto's and 2 My Hero Academia ones. And yeah, so okay, I will explain how his quirk works and that as we get into this world. So getting into the world. So so it'd be when Deku is born. Mind you, even though I know his name is Izuku Midoriya, I'm gonna just call him Deku because I tend to remember Deku a lot more, or a lot better than what his actual name is. So Deku's going to be around, it'll be when Catch On, he awakens his quirk, and Deku's gonna have no face features or that as a to show his quirks are awakened or that, because it's a transformation, even though it's a mutation, so it's completely different from his mum and dad's quirk, because he's a dragon oil. Yes, and he's, as you can see that it's a Night Fury. Yes. Yeah. And it'd be when Katsun awakens, he can then, when Katsun awakens his quirk, which he can just explode, or he goes in school and goes in, I guess call it nursery. What that looks like is like what we'd call year 1 of school in Wales, at least year 1 in school. But yeah, I'm just gonna say preschool or nursery because I'm not really sure how it works in Japan. And so, and then, because Katsun would go, we'd look over at Midoriya or Deku, and go, so Midoriya, no, not Midoriya, I forgot his name, Izuku, so, I can't remember his first name, just gonna say Deku, so Deku, have you awakened your quirk here? He's like, no, not yet, Katsun, not yet, and because as he turns 4, he still hasn't awakened his quirk yet, and his mum starts to get worried, so she takes him to the doctor, and the doctor's like, well, you're saying he does have a quirk? And he's like, yeah, but he's only showed it off once, how comes, only once, and it's like, wow, it's a transformation type quirk, so it's not exactly, he's probably, the reason why he hasn't awakened it, because he already has awakened it, or he never did, because it was awakened when he was born. And what I mean by that is when he was born, as he was plopped out, I'll say, he caught a light, or he was on fire. He produced fire out of every part of his body. He was pretty much on fire, and that was the only instant of him. So his mum thought, oh, well, it's like, well, from what we know, he could just have a fire type quirk, but doing DNA tests and that, it looks like he's got a transformation type quirk, but we're not really sure how how to get him to activate it, which is that transformation. Do you know what kind? It's like, it's, I guess, like, well, we're not sure. We just know it's a transformation type quirk, because I think they'd be able to figure that out. And it's like, well, I can only levitate small things towards me, and his dad can breathe fire. It's like, huh. Well, I guess it's an extreme, like, we've heard of, quirks, changing from their mum or dad, but it only has some appearance. Like, I don't know if it's transformation. Maybe it's like something that can breathe fire, maybe a dragon or that. But of course, Night Fury doesn't breathe fire. It splits. Well, I was gonna say splits, spits, or spit. Well, I don't know what you'd say, but he spits out. I'm just gonna say plasma, or plasma ball. Pretty much. That's what it looks like on Toothless, at least. It's just a plasma ball. And it's like, well, when Deku does transform, at least for the first time, bring them here, and we should then be able to get a full rundown of his quirk. And it's like, it looks like, well, if we can try to get him to, get, use all that, but, it's kind of up to you. It's like, oh, no, and, wait, so, like, his mum goes, well, he looks, and he looks, I don't know, I forgot, it's like, you just, can't, I guess, use it, or don't know how to use it is the best thing, or just awakened it once but needs to awaken it again. Like, I don't know, it's confusing, my son. So, okay, mum. And he, goes to school the next day, and Katsun goes, well, do you know what your quirk is, Deku? He's like, no, my mum kind of told me something surprising, or the doctor, which was apparently when I was born, or just born, I caught a light, or I'll produced fire all over me. Oh, so you've got a fire type quirk then? It's like, well, that's what my mum thought until the doctor analysed me and said I've got a transformation quirk. So, you sure about that? It's like, yeah, that's what that's what the doctor said, and and he said I have to like awaken it, all that, and of course, catch on just goes just like, oh wait, but can you then use fire? It's like, well, my mum said it's like I have to reawaken my fire, or that, which he pretty much produced fire. Well, he just doesn't know how to use his quirk. And of course, like, I'd say, a couple of years later, so they're in, I don't know, school by this point, and Katsun, has gotten bored and just started calling him Deku, because he's never really shown a quirk, so he's just calling him Deku and that, and nerd. And one day they're on the playground, not playground, I guess. Well, no, he starts to bully Deku, and because out of nowhere, Deku's pretty much had enough. Actually, no, it's about, say, I would say, around 2 years before before he takes the entrance exam to UA, he finally awakens his quirk, or he's able to activate his quirk more like it, which is he pretty much he says to Katsune, his Katsune is blooming over him, and he's already beaten up Deku, and Deku's like, I've had enough of this, Katsune, really beating you and your, I guess, goons, lackeys, I don't know, followers beating me up, I've had enough, and gives out the most primal roar, which, it scares the other two, and Katsune's just like, oh, have you awakened your quirk? He says that, and he's like, what? You can't awaken his quirk at this point, and Katsune's always remembered that Deku has kind of always never really been afraid of fire and that, so he's kind of thought maybe it's something to do with fire. I just, did tell Katsune, and his mum proved it here, showing a picture of, Deku alight, and almost set the entire hospital alight. And, so, and Katsune's kind of just more or less done it to, goes, the only way that, Katsune knows is just to bully Deku until Deku gets mad enough to forcefully awaken his quirk or that. And, and he transforms then into a dragon. And, of course, Deku's quite puzzled. So all of a sudden, he's got 6 limbs to control. More than 6, I think. 4 because of his legs. I think he's got 6, so 10 limbs. He's got 4 legs and 6 wings, because he's got the 6 and 6 his 2 main wings at the front, the 2 rear wings, and then the ones kind of roughly in the middle that seem to open. I think they open up or close at high speeds. Yeah, actually, I think they open up more on lower speeds to give them more lift or that. Not 100% sure. But yeah. And, of course, being a Night Fury, he can travel currently around Mach 3 to Mach 4. Yes, already that fast. Or 3 to 4 times speed of sound, but he will get faster. And he can shoot plasma blast. But what he will eventually be able to do is Toothless learn that he could, turn invisible. And in his human form he'll be able to produce 2 different types of fire, but I'll get into that later on. And the teacher kind of hears the roar, runs to his window, and just sees a dragon at the yard. And it then becomes breaking news, because I'm not really sure if there's any other dragons besides him. I know there's the one other person that can transform into a dragon, but it looks more like I'd say dragon type quirks. Because being a dragon, they live for quite a long time. Of course, I've only speculated only having one other living dragon, and she's still young, or in the eyes of a dragon, she's still a newborn. like to a dragon, she'd still be a newborn, I guess. And well, yeah, and of course it comes back in is that there's now another person with a dragon type quirk, which gets well, while it interests All Might, and it interests her because she's the only dragon type, and she's like, I've seen that type of dragon before. Where have I seen it? Like those green eyes. I know I've seen that green eyes before in that shape. And then, so think, well, it's pretty much a human world version or a Earth version. So it's like they would, well, if they've got, I'd probably say either superheroes or movies of like Superman and Batman and that, then I don't know why they wouldn't have movies of How to Train Your Dragon and stuff like that. So yeah, and so she'd go, hey, that's a night fury, as it pops into her head as she's looking over the news. And those just like, there's a second dragon and, a dragon transformation in the world because there's different bird types. I'd probably say, cats types and all of that. Mind you, tell me, I've got some, but there is more than one dragon transformation type quirk. But what I've seen in the anime, and I've really only watched the anime, so yes, all I've seen in the anime is the one dragon quirk user. So if there is more, please tell me in the comments down below. Otherwise, I'm still going to say Deku is the second, person to show a dragon type transformation. And well, of course, well, Captain's gonna go, Deku, what can you do? And Deku looks at him and just whacks Captain away because Captain was the one who just made him mad. And he goes, if I'm dragon, I wonder if I can fly. So he's like, obviously I'll be able to fly, but how fast will I be able to fly? Starts thinking, like that. He's like, I wonder how I would unhammer guy and starts, saying a load of random junk and that. And Kaz is just like, are you going to test out your speed or what, nerd? And Kaz is like, race me then if you think you're faster than me. Like, without giving Deku a chance to respond, and actually like, fine then. Then, he's like, one of his is like, okay, on your marks, get set, go. As go, they just hear two explosions, one from Katsun and another one from Deku breaking the sound barrier. Yeah. And Deku really can't hear anything behind him, and he quickly realizes he's broken the speed of sound. And Katsun just, sees Deku disappear, or quite quickly disappear. And Deku kind of realizes he probably wants to slow down and start returning back and fly up to a higher altitude, because it's going to, maybe either scare or concern a lot of people. Like, there's a dragon type user on the loose. Maybe so that's what he does, and he ends up lying back, calming down, and luckily enough, Johnson went back. And Katsun just lands back and goes, where did you go? He's like, I flew, and then next thing I knew, I was over the ocean. How fast was this going? I was like, I don't know. I guess the next place for me to go is the doctor, like to know what my quirk can do. And well, so after school, he runs home to his mum, and he's like, "Oh, mum, I was working my quirks. Like, I know that you're kind of all over the news. Like, Green Dragon suddenly appeared and then broke the speed of sound, they said, and shattered a lot of windows, mind you, of course. They're not blaming you, wanting to test out and see how fast you are. It's like, well, how do you know? Well, no, but I guess it's time to, go to the hospital to see, what your quirk can do, and, he goes and they're like, Deku, I see you're here, and I see you've finally managed to activate your quirk. And it's like, well, we're gonna take you, we're gonna have to take you, this is gonna take a couple of days, as we're also gonna have to, go to the ocean to test your top speed, as it seems to be faster than the speed of sound. It's like, yeah, I kind of learnt that one. It's like, well, I did, when I was flying, all racing cars on, I kind of, I guess it's like, all I heard was go, and then next thing I noticed, I was over the ocean in a matter of seconds. Like, interesting. Well, okay, and he does, these, stuff like, well, what can you, what can you do? Can you emit fire, all that? And Deku can. He can emit fire, but then it feels like he can do another type of fire. And as he does that, he starts lifting up as he's producing it from his feet. And it's like, does about, can you produce it from your hands or anywhere else? So he can also do it from his hands, more like, I guess, stabilizers or able to direct where he's going. It's like interesting. And of course, the fire, it's less in his hands and more like around his hands, like a tunnel, or it's kind of hard to tell that it's fire, but you can tell there's fire there as the, I guess, heat wash. If you look at it, like, if you see a jet taking off, or you've seen on videos like the heat, or if you've got an electric fire and you look carefully enough, you can see the air around the hot air almost distort the your background or that, or I've seen it at least. And yeah, and it's like, so it looks like you produce two types of fire, one that can burn and another one that seems to be able to give you, I guess, like thrust or lift. And of course Deku thinks of a better way of doing it, and so he kind of designs his outfit to kind of include a kind of turbine housing on his legs. So instead of his thrust kind of fire circling his legs, he'll be able to get it in there, and then he'll be able to go either have it go up, down, so that you can go up and fly forward, or have it in the reverse direction and fly backwards. And he's able, to fly around maybe 100, don't remember, yeah, I'd probably say, around 100 miles an hour, roughly, for now, because as he gets back control and masters it more, he's able to, learn to go faster. And well, the fire kind of matches his like hair color green, like a green, yeah, green, and he does like interesting, and it's always green, even he's like, well, let's test the temperature range, shall we? So he puts like some type of thing there that can show like a temperature gauge. So it'll go from probably like around I think 100 all the way to like the hottest flame, which I think the highest flame I think is blue, or yeah, I think it's blue. And it's like, well, try and do it lowest, and it reads the lowest 100. It's like, okay, do it the hottest you can. And of course the doctor's looking at it to see if there is any colour difference, and the only difference is that it gets brighter and unbearable to stand by. But and of course it goes all up to like being a blue flame, and Deku's still increasing it, and it's like around, not really sure when blue flame starts, but I'd say around like maybe like a good like 5 to 10,000 like degrees Celsius, but you can't do it that heat for that long. So for one, like the drawback at that will be you can you'll overheat. You'll need a lot more water. You'll get dehydrated and that. But when he's in his dragon form, of course, he's able to split doing like plasma balls, and that which I think are cool. I think around the 1,000,000 degrees Celsius, because that plasma, like he's able to do like a plasma blast, but he's only able to do a very little one, and even that takes a very long time to do in human form, and it pretty much knackers him out after doing one, even though because the doctor just goes, interesting, like plasma blast, pretty much. And then like 3 days later, they go to the beach, a beach full of junk and that, and he wrote those down, with his mum nearby, and a couple of curious on watches, and two of them, one is All Might in his, well, not in his bat form, in his skeleton form, as a lot of people call him, call that form, and the guy with the dragon crack. I'll find her name now. I think I'm mispronouncing her name, but it's Ruku Tatsumi, or the dragon hero Ruku. So she uses her name. The formal number 9 hero, current number 10 pro hero. Yes, okay, so Ruku. I'm just going for Ruku. Okay. Ruku's there, also then all my seasons is like, I guess I'm not the only person interested in this boy. The only other person that has a dragon type quirk, and it's a transformation. It's not like a type, and plus it's like a it's nothing apparently similar to his mum or his dad, so that's very interesting. And the dog looks around and goes, looks like we've got some on watches. Izuku goes, well, I guess that kind of what happens when you're the second person to ever show a dragon type. transformation quirk. The doctor's like, well, yeah, I guess so. And he's a bit embarrassed, and the doctor's like, well, we're ready, as you know, there's. Well, I guess, you know, they'd probably call them like the military to make sure the surrounding water and the surrounding water and airspace is clear, you know, for a dragon that can fly faster than the speed of sound. Because, you know, I'm pretty sure getting hit by that, he may not notice, but, you know, you are. Clearly are. You're just gonna, you know, 1 minute say, 1 minute see a clean sky, and the next minute, you know, you're just gonna see a green dragon rip right by you, which will probably scare the life out of people. So, yeah. So it's, you know, like it's probably loudspeaker or siren goes off, warning people, you know, that a quirk test is gonna happen. So, you know, be prepared for a very loud and strong shockwave to, you know, occur. And the doctor goes, well, we've got the, you know, go ahead. Is, you know, the military probably pulls out their fastest plane. Well, they'd probably call the US. That's why it took, you know, 2 days, as they, you know, had to get a plane. And I'd probably still say the only plane in the world that they've currently got that is fast or faster than Mach 3. Well, is faster than Mach 3 is the SR-71 Blackbird, because why not? I don't really see that technology that advanced or that, or not that much more advanced than us. So, you know, yeah, of course, you know, they contact the US. The US was like, oh, yeah, sure, you know, why not have, you know, like a race against, you know, and, you know, they would be also, that, well, the world would be interested in this thing, and it, you know, a couple of reporters are there, and you know, the reports would also say, you know, like the US has sent over that, and, you know, the legendary SR-71 Blackbird. And of course, I think by that point, you know, the Blackbird's, you know, top speed is already being disclosed to the world. Or, well, they'll probably still keep them classified, but they will tell how fast at least Izuku was going. As they've got, well, they'd put a like collar, I guess, type thing on around his neck to measure how fast he's going. And so, like, they're like, ready? And he's like, oh, ready? He's like, ever been, you know, Katsum would arrive seconds before. As Katsum sees Deku transform into the dragon form. And Flapper, and they're like, ready? 3, 2, 1. As the SR-71 rips past him at, well, probably Mach 2. Just so, you know, well, see if Deku could catch up. Which Deku quickly catches up with it. And, okay, go. As, you know, the SR-71 rips past, and Deku gets his bearings and then flies off to catch it. As he, you know, quickly does and goes, can't you go any faster? And faster. And, you know, the pirate's like, you caught up with us pretty fast. Okay, he goes fast as we can. We've got the entire ocean to ourselves, pretty much. So as they pretty much just fling it to full throttle, quickly surpasses Mach 3 and then hits Mach 4. And then, of course, the plane rolls to Mach 4.5 as, you know, they start pulling back power as they start losing Deku. So it seems like Mach 4.5 is Deku's max speed, but hey, 4.5 times the speed of sound. Nothing else really can travel that fast. I'm only assuming the SR-71 can, because we don't know its top speed. You just know it can go faster than its cruising speed of Mach 3.3 to 3.2. Anyway, just having a science lesson. And so they would return with a tired, tired Deku, as they would have. That I'm thinking of it, they would probably land on one of the islands that could have gotten to the back carpet, because there's no, well, it looks like there's no wars going on, and they would refuel and then fly back within a couple of minutes. And they'd go, they'd say, hey, the doctor would go, so it seems like your Mach speed is 4.5 times the speed of sound. And like, Deku is just, that's fast. It's like, yes, that is very fast, Deku. Like, if you were to go just 0.5 times faster, you'd be hypersonic. And he's like, well, can you go jogging again to see, what other abilities you can do, and where he goes in, and he can shoot up to, I'd probably say, as his dragon form, you can shoot up to, I'd say, like 12, like 12 plasma blasts before he's, well, no, not 12, let's say 6 plasma blasts before he's tired. As even though he's still new to his form and that, so he's still going to take a while for him to get used to it, and he's also used to the heat of having a 1 million degree temperature in his mouth before he just spits it out pretty much. And he has to also get used to having retractable teeth. It's the doctor also kind of that way. He's like, well, let's see your mouth. Is that why is your teeth? Is that what? I have teeth, and then he brings them out. Then he's like, you've got retractable teeth. It's like, that's new. And it's like, you've got also like 3 pairs of rings, like your main ones in the front or your back, then like 2 small ones like down and below it, like behind them, a little bit behind them and below them, and then like your rear ones that seem to control your rotation and your lift and that. Well, less lift and more. Well, yeah, I guess they would control his kind of lift. When you're flying forward and that. Then it would, like transform back. Of course, not knowing. Of course, Deku wouldn't really know that he can. For one, he doesn't know he can see in the dark. Well, no, he knows that because ball dragons can. But he doesn't know that because he's not as well. He can shoot out a sound wave, and so he's got a what's it called? Sonar. Well, what Dolphin's got? Yeah, so like a sonar, like Toothless, that's pretty much. He can do that, even though he's not aware of it yet. He can do that. It likes he can do that in the thingy, not test. Something coming up. Yeah. And yeah. So back goes, geez, Midoriya, I knew, geez, Deku, I knew you had a powerful crop, but I had something else insane. So, I thought you never liked me. It's like, well, indeed, I just wanted to provoke you so you could awaken your quirk. whilst everyone else, I guess, just started to believe you was quirkless. I've always, I guess, hoped that you wasn't. Because they would be close friends, just in the back of go would always annoy him type deal. Yeah. And of course, Deku, grabs his notebook and starts writing all this information down about himself. And back goes like, geez, even about yourself you put in your book. It's like, well, yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's like, you nerd. And as everyone, disperses. Because there's just, well, all my is like, jeez, he's got, a very strong quirk, it seems like, even though he's apparently recently just awoken it. But jeez, and he's able to, plasma, what's like, jeez. Because his plasma balls are like a mix of green and purple, a greeny purple colour. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of it for them, that they, and well, I'd say, the Ruku, she would approach Midoriya and go, hi there, and I could go, oh my god, you're the number 9 pro hero, the dragon hero, like Ruku, and Deku, she would kind of, so about me then. It's like, it was just just nodding out, and Katson's just like, wait, nod. So, yes, sorry, can you sound my bit, because he'd probably ask that to every pro hero that he's able to, that will give him the time of day. And she does, it's like, well, it seems like you've got a pretty strong quirk. If you want, I could help you to get used to being a dragon and flying around and that. I just kind of several times when he was flying, chasing the J, almost firstly almost crashed into it because he was went to match the acceleration, and another he almost shot either into space or into the ocean, which, mind you, he can go under the ocean. He just he doesn't know he can do that yet. And she goes, oh, and I could also teach how to swim as a dragon and that. And he's like, yeah, yes, that would be great, thank you. And Cutlass is just like, jeez, of course, a pro hero, of course the only other dragon type pro hero would choose him to train him, but Katsun, he's kind of like his canon self, just that, well, he knows if he gets on Deku's bad side, he knows that Deku could quite easily wipe him from existence. So he, the only time anyone really sees anything nice from Katsun is when he's speaking and having fun Deku. Otherwise, to anyone else, he's going to act like his normal self. Yeah. Because, he's pretty much stayed true to himself, and I've, for a very long time tried getting Deku's quirk to awaken, and, well, he managed to succeed in that, and I've got flung, and, well, I say you did go to the hospital because he broke his arm. Well, he wouldn't broke his arm, he just badly damaged his arms as he went into the wall. He tried slowing down for a couple of explosions, which doesn't really work, and it just hurt his arms instead. So yeah, and yeah. Well, yeah, 2 years later, he's now able to fly straight and properly. He's able to, well, yeah, as I've said, fly straight, be able to swim or fly underwater. It's another thing they find out that he can, whereas he has to slow down to enter the water, he can just dive straight in. So it's like, you can just dive straight into the water. And she has also, got curious, like what about, like in kind of caves and that, like, can you see? But it's, at night when the moon's out and that, you can see like any other animal. Well, because he's got night vision, it's okay. Well, it's good. It's not good as the dragons, but when it comes to like cave pitch black, he can use a sonar and he instinctually does it. Like, as they enter a cave and they walk further in. She says, "Well, like, can you see? Because I can't." And he answered, "No, Ruka, I can't." And she's like, "Well, I wonder what types of abilities you've got for pitch black, or do you always have to have the moon out to be able to see?" And like as they're about to try something, all of a sudden the cave starts to collapse on itself. Yes, because there's, I'd say there's a small earthquake. So I'd probably say there's earthquakes, maybe what seems like there hasn't been an earthquake for quite a long while. So this would be the last earthquake I mention, the first and only earthquake I mention, possibly in this life. And as they, as they then fly out, as I stand there hearing it crumble, and they would have gotten lost because it opened up to a wide area and there's different paths. Of course, Deku then subconsciously uses his, sonar type deal, and then listens for it on the way back, and she's like, can you see type deal? And he goes, he just says, like de-transform and I'll fly you out of here as he does that, he grabs her and he flies out of there. And it's just as the cave literally collapses right behind them, they escape. Just barely any time left, and so that was lucky. Well, I guess we know you've got like a sonar type deal when it comes to caves and that, so at least we know you can see in pitch black. It's like, I wonder if I can, well, as he puts her down, I wonder if I can get any smaller, as he then turns into like a baby dragon type deal, or a smaller version, a smaller dragon. Yeah. And she's like, "Oh, that's so cute." And this is like a baby dragon, a baby Deku dragon. Just like the it would still look like his normal self, just not normal self, as the one you can see in the picture. Just as the if you've seen the How to Train Dragon, not Rise of Berk, the Homecoming, How to Train Dragon Homecoming, if you've seen that with Toothless and that, or the end of I forgot its name. How to Train Dragon 3. the hidden mode. If you've seen the hidden mode, then you'd know, like you'd see, Toothless's babies. That's what he looked like. The night Fury, like Fury babies. That's what he looks like, but in the picture, the green one. Yeah, and he's able to use the same abilities as in canon, and yeah, of course, as I've said, 2 years later, well, that's what they've learned, and well, because the teacher, in school now, the teacher that goes, well, it's, how it's like, well, I could give you, some papers to see, like what you choose as your profession, in the future. But what the heck? We all know you want to be heroes, and we all know you all want to go to UA. I see throws them up, and they'll use that crack except for Deku and Kacchan as well. Kacchan could, and well, Deku would probably just blow up the entire score by mistake or set it alight. So yeah, and he knows not to anyway. Then he just goes, okay, calm down. You're not meant to use your quirk during school. During school. As they calm down, it's like, well, and it seems like we've got 2 people going to UA, doing trying to do the entrance. The entrance exam. Kacchan is one of them, and Deku's the other one, and they're like, well, I guess it makes sense for the 2 most powerful people to go to the best hero school out there. And yeah, and Kacchan just goes them all extra. And Deku's just like, yeah, well, why have a Kacchan? We know you'd lose against me. He's like, well, yeah, well, I know we'd lose against you. Like you just be able to incinerate them in no time. So I don't know. That's just thinking about like pro heroes and that, and maybe using his blind spot or that, or being able to dodge the fire or plasma ball, stuff like that. What he hasn't learned. Yeah, that he can control the range of his plasma ball, so more like how Toothless can when he's like in How to Dragon, when he shoots the plasma ball and blows up. Yeah, encompassing him and encompassing Toothless and what's his name, Hiccup. Yeah, encompassing them too. Yeah. So that's what he can do, but he hasn't learned how to do that yet. And the same for going invisible. He doesn't know you can do that yet. Or that, you can, one of his friends just have to press, press point in his back. And, Spanish pop up, and then he's able to remove, I can't say it now. Remove. His ability to turn, and that is, well, his turning ability, and that will be a lot better when he gets those, I guess, scales up, but well, you'd need help from a friend or that. So yeah, and he will get that activated one day, and then the day comes of the entrance, the test, the UA entrance test. Still can't, I forgot what it's called. So I'm just going to call it test. And Kacchan knocks on Midor's door and goes, hey, come on, nerd, we're going to be late. It's like, wow, Kacchan, you don't have to worry, I can just, transform and fly. It's like, well, yeah, but you also know that's illegal, don't you? Like, oh, well, not if no one sees me. It's like, But yeah, how was, I don't know, good, I don't, how long is a normal night for you? Because he would be like his normal night fury form would be adult. So I don't know, he's like I guess 10, 20 foot dragon. Just land out of nowhere. So, well, I can become, baby. It's like, well, yeah, but still, or, if I'm student falling out of the sky, it's like, we know you can fly using your quirk. So it's like, there's no point. It's like, you're just better off, being safe and using the train. And Deku's like, oh, I didn't know you worried about me that much. You care about me that much. He's like, but stop it, come on, I'm gonna be late. As they, travel to UA and then walk in, of course, Deku's just admiring it, and Kat's just like, whatever, see you inside, nerd. As well, Deku takes in the scenery, and because he's not really noticed that a tile is loose, so as he steps on it, he ends up falling over. And then, of course, he closes his eyes, waiting for the impact, forgetting his quirk. And all of a sudden, he's like, what? I'm not. Oh, don't tell me. I'm like hard, like in the air or that. I've activated my quirk and I've shot into the air. Like, no, I don't feel like I'm moving or that. And he opens his eyes and he's realizing he's just floating. And then, well, Uraka. I can't say her last name. I don't know. Yes. But yeah, she goes, my name is something Uraka, and I use my quirk on you, sorry for that. But I thought, you wouldn't really want to, pancake on the floor. On the formal floor. It's like, thank you for saving me. And she's like, oh, aren't you that kid that's the, person, that with the dragon type quirk? Yeah, I know, Yeah, and she then realizes and gets quite embarrassed who she's talking to. And then she enters in, and Deku enters in a couple of seconds later. And sits by Katsu and is like, geez, no, you took your time. What do you do? What do you do? Trip on your own 2 feet? He's like, So, yeah. And then, cuts on, well, as they are listening, then, or blue-headed boy goes over, he's like, his person, is explaining, there's 3 robots, there's a 1.0, the smaller robots are 1.0, the kind of slightly bigger ones are 2.0s, and then the medium rough-sized ones are 3.0s, and your task is to destroy as many of them as possible to get as many points as possible to pass the exam. And then, blue-headed boy would go like, is there some type of mistake or that, or what he says in canon? And Postmaster's like, I see, noticed. Well, that's pretty much just one huge obstacle. It's a 0 point robot, it's massive, so you tend to just want to keep away from it. And so, of course he goes, well, go to your training ground areas. Deku and Katsu notice they're not in the same one, so he's like, well, I hope you pass, nerd. He goes, well, I don't know, but I guess, well, it's me, if it's me, as, you won't, you'd probably see me flying about. It's like, well, yeah, that's obvious, nerd, who can miss a, 10, 20 foot sized green dragon flying around at 4.5 times speed of sound. It's like, hey, well, I've gone fast. I'm I'm able to fly at least, 5, at least 6 times now, so still. So yeah, he's increased it by a little bit, and when I mean by a little bit, well, 1.5 times more. Well, yeah. Of course, the scene, and if you guys want to rate, you've got fancy, sludge film scene. Well, I don't think that would have happened because Deku would probably, Deku would mostly be roughly training, he would have been training by that point. And so he would want to get there as fast as possible, so he would generally fly over everything. So, All Might never really gets to meet him that time, and all that thing about just All Might ends up catching it and taking it to police. Nothing really happens. Deku just completely skips past that thing, so it never really happens. And anyway, getting back on track. Person Mike, is there, and he says, the horn goes in the door, and it's like, there's no timer to these exams, go, as then everyone kind of realises and then runs in. As then, Deku just uses his, jet fire. Thrust fire or jet fire, whatever you like to call it, where he's able to use it as the fire. It's like, even though he decides vessel, so he's able to actually use that, because otherwise it would burn any clothes or that around his legs or that. So as he sits forward and starts destroying 1.0s and 2, couple of 2s and a couple of 3s, and it'd probably also help some people out that have gone round to over their heads, and where some robots have just cornered them. By those, maybe 2 or 3 3.0s that have, cornered some people. So he's, stopped to help them out. And so he has racked up around 20 hero points by that point, just by helping run people out. And then Professor Mike says 5 minutes left, as then, Deku, his massive, his something big, as he turns around and then realises it's the giant 1.0 robot, and as everyone is running away, he's like, I wonder if I could take it. And then he sees the guy who saved him earlier on, and he's like, there's mine now, I've got to destroy it either way. As he starts to fly and then transform into his dragon form, which then as everyone, then realises who it is. He doesn't know, realises, stops and turns around to realise who that person is. As Deku, he thinks, Deku plasma, don't want to do plasma blast, so I don't want to just, fly all the way up high and then let it go. But he decides to just, do a plasma blast right down the middle of it, and blown it up instantly. And then as Deku then lands and picks up the rubble that's on the Ajaku's leg, or Uraraku's leg, he picks up like that. It weighs nothing. And Uraraku's like, thank you, as the horn goes. And Professor Mike goes, well, if you've got any injuries or that, go see I forgot her name, the old lady, the girl with the quirk that can heal people. Yeah, if you've got any injuries, go to her house, go home. And Deku, recovery girl. Deku takes her to recovery girl, and he's like, well, bye then, bye, and hopefully, we get to see each other again in UA, maybe. So yeah, and yeah, of course. And then after 2 weeks, and Deku has been training still, lifting some weights and that to improve his overall strength and stamina. He, his mum kind of runs and goes, Deku, it's here, your, letter from you, it's here. As, Deku takes it takes it to his bedroom and opens it up. And of course, a picture of All Might appears and it goes, I am here. As he, says kind of the same things and canon, even though he goes, Izuku, you got 40 villain points and 60 hero points. Remember, you got 40 from saving the girl and 20 from saving the other people. And therefore you got 100 points total. As you're the unbeaten came first, and so I welcome you, Izuku Midori, into UA, your hero academia. And he goes, oh, and I'm gonna be oh yeah, I'm the newest UA faculty member. And then it turns off, and well, Deku's happy because he runs well. I'm not sure if he has an upstairs now, but he runs to his mind and goes, I was accepted, and apparently I came first with 100 points total. As his mum's happy and that. And also All Might did so, the video of Uraka that, asked President Mike to give him some of her points. And he said, no, that's not needed, he's doing fine just on his own. Like, literally fine. And of course, Dominique comes in. Also, I end that. No, I'm going to carry on for a bit longer. I'll end it off on that first day, at the end of that first day. And mind you, All Might hasn't passed on his quirk just yet, because he's still interested in Midoriya. Yeah. And yeah. Well, Ruku, Ruku would go, that night, or, well, tonight, All Might, rang Deku instead of being All Might, it would be, Ruku who would, call Midoriya to meet him at the beach. Not meet him, oops, meet her at the beach. She first met Deku and they had cleaned up a while ago. Yeah, around a year ago they cleaned up, using his, teaching him kind of more about his plan, trying to, better control his fire and that. So he, melted it. So yeah, plus, he went there also with Carlson to do, strength training and that, so he does too much to clean it up. And then, she's there, it's like, well, she speaks to Deku about some stuff and goes, well, I hope, you have a good, I hope you're, well, I hope you have, a good year, a good year in UA. And he says, oh, and when it comes to pro hero agencies where you're able to intern and that stuff, I'll send you another vote, even though I think a lot of people will probably send in their votes. I hope you choose me. And, he's like, yeah, so she's just, happy to talk to it for one last time. And, of course, he then goes home. He somehow excitedly manages to fall asleep, and then, his mum wakes him up from there. Next morning, going, come on, Izuku, you're going to be late for school. Your first day of UA. So, oh yeah. And cuts and, things the doorbell and goes, come on, no, you're going to be late. You're going to make us late. So, well, we could always just fly there. Fly like catch on. Guys like, geez, no, I'm not as fast as you. Or, well, no, you'd start calling Deku Dragon. Or, well, Dragon Brain call. Geez, Dragon Brain, I'm not as fast as you. Right, Dragon Brain. Why? Well, because you could transform into a dragon. Nerd. So, okay. Yeah. And, they arrive there on, he still arrived on time. And as they, take their seat, and Tenya then, starts wearing that catch on to take his legs off the table, and after a while he gives up and then, talks to Deku and says, he's happy to be in a fellow class with a person. And it was the night before, when Deku got his acceptance letter, catch on line, goes, geez, no, I guess you came in first, because then I was second. So, yeah, I came in first with 100 points total. Is that, what, 100? What? I got 50. I had 50 points total. I guess it shows I'm still better than you. This guy's on just growl, moans, and then hangs up. Yeah. Well, they carry on talking and then hang up for the night. But yeah, just wanted to type that in. And then, as everyone else piles in, they, all this there, surprised, oh my god, that's, like, Izuku Midoriya, the second person ever to, have a dragon type quirk. And then, Shoto, comes in his bag. He says it took you all 8 seconds to shut up. That's bad. Anyway, meet me at the training field in 3 minutes. Round your UA forms as he throws them, like the gym gear. And then, goes down there to wait for them. Then they all, go to their locker rooms and get changed. And then as they, there he goes, Lyle kind of explains that, they'll be doing, a couple of tests. And then goes, Izuku, Midoriya, what was your what was your, highest, throwing, score? And he's like, I think it's like 43 meters or that. It's like, I'll try with your quirk. And he's like, alright, and he's thinking, what? So you said I turned into a dragon, and And no, it's like, no, because I wouldn't want, because I'd blow it up. Like, okay. And then he uses his thrust quirk because he thinks, well, if I can put it on me, then could I put it on the ball? And while he full throttles the thrust on, he manages to put it on the ball, puts it full thrust and just throws it as fast as he can. As they just see it disappear. And then a couple of seconds later, as Zara's face smiles and shows everyone they was like, what, 1,000 meters like that? And Carlton's just like, that's my rival for you. Yeah. And he's like, I guess I could have actually transformed and just whacked it with my tail. I guess I could have done that. I still remember he's got a kind of baseball bat for it, while as his tail is also like a baseball bat. He remembers that. So I guess I could have used that as well. Yeah. And well, it kind of roughly goes the same with Deku kind of using his quirk when it comes to the strength training and that. While yanking the things down there, he actually ends up breaking it. Well, not breaking it. By breaking it, he ends up just melting the glass a bit, so it's unable to they're unable to see the reading. But yeah. Like, they would see the first number of it just like 4, and that's it. That is for something, and they're not sure what that something is, because the rest of it is too badly damaged to see. So yeah. But overall, Deku came. Well, I would say Deku came 5th, and Minara, the boy with the pop-off quirk, as he's scared for his life, and Zara's just like, I'm not spelling anyone, it's just a logical deception to get you to do it all. And that's how we're just moaning at him. And yeah, and they catch he's a leaf for the day. And this is also, and that's also where I'm gonna end this what if. So if you have enjoyed part 1, like it, enjoy it so much, and you want to watch this, guys, subscribe, and see you guys in the next video. Goodbye. Bye, guys.